Chapter 1 of The Lamplighter. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Bridget Gaige. The Lamplighter by Maria Susanna Cummins. Chapter 1. Good God, to think upon a child that has no childish days, no careless play, no frolics wild, no words of prayer and praise. Landon. It was growing dark in the city. Out in the open country it would be light for half an hour or more, but within the close streets where my story leads me, it was already dusk. Upon the wooden doorstep of a low-roofed, dark, and unwholesome-looking house sat a little girl who was gazing up the street with much earnestness. The house door, which was open behind her, was close to the sidewalk, and the step on which she sat was so low that her little unshod feet rested on the cold bricks. It was a chilly evening in November, and a light fall of snow, which had made everything look bright and clean in the pleasant open squares, near which the fine houses of the city were built, had only served to render the narrow streets and dark lanes dirtier and more cheerless than ever. For, mixed with the mud and filth which abound in those neighborhoods where the poor are crowded together, the beautiful snow had lost all its purity. A great many people were passing to and fro, bent on their various errands of duty or of pleasure, but no one noticed the little girl, for there was no one in the world who cared for her. She was scantily clad, in garments of the poorest description. Her hair was long and very thick, uncombed and unbecoming, if anything could be said to be unbecoming to a set of features which, to a casual observer, had not a single attraction, being thin and sharp, while her complexion was sallow, and her whole appearance unhealthy. She had, to be sure, fine dark eyes, but so unnaturally large did they seem, in contrast to her thin puny face, that they only increased the peculiarity of it, without enhancing its beauty. Had any one felt any interest in her, which nobody did, had she had a mother, which, alas, she had not, those friendly and partial eyes would perhaps have found something in her to praise. As it was, however, the poor little thing was told, a dozen times a day, that she was the worst-looking child in the world, and what was more, the worst behaved. No one loved her, and she loved no one. No one treated her kindly. No one tried to make her happy, or cared whether she were so. She was but 8 years old, and all alone in the world. There was one thing, and one only, which she found pleasure in. She loved to watch for the coming of the old man who lit the street lamp in front of the house where she lived. To see the bright torch he carried flicker in the wind, and then, when he ran up his ladder, lit the lamp so quickly and easily, and made the whole place seem cheerful, one gleam of joy was shed on a little desolate heart, to which gladness was a stranger. And though he had never seemed to see, and certainly had never spoken to her, she almost felt, as she watched for the old lamplighter, as if he were a friend. "Gertie," exclaimed a harsh voice within, "have you been for the milk?" The child made no answer, but gliding off the doorstep, ran quickly round the corner of the house and hid a little out of sight. "What's become of that child?" said the woman from whom the voice proceeded, and who now showed herself at the door. A boy was passing, and had seen Gertie run. A boy who had caught the tone of the whole neighborhood, and looked upon her as a sort of imp, or spirit of evil, laughed aloud, pointed to the corner which concealed her, and walking off with his head over his shoulder to see what would happen next, exclaimed to himself as he went, "She'll catch it. Nan Grant'll fix her." In a moment more, Gertie was dragged from her hiding-place, and, with one blow for her ugliness, and another for her impudence, for she was making up faces at Nan Grant with all her might, she was dispatched down a neighboring alley with a kettle for the milk. She ran fast, for she feared the lamplighter would come and go in her absence, and was rejoiced on her return to catch sight of him as she drew near the house, just going up his ladder. She stationed herself at the foot of it, and was so engaged in watching the bright flame that she did not observe when the man began to descend, and, as she was directly in his way, he hit against her as he sprang to the ground, and she fell upon the pavement. "Hullo, my little one!" exclaimed he. "How's this?" as he stooped to lift her up. She was upon her feet in an instant, for she was used to hard
Sample complete. Ready to continue?